Hey everybody, and welcome to another 9.5 replay from the World of Tanks. This time we're in the JT. Now, this is a tank I don't like very much. It has a very good gun, but everything else about it is pretty much terrible. It has no camo, no mobility, its armor is basically irrelevant at tier 9. It's not that fun to play, but every now and then something happens that makes me kind of not hate it. And this was one of those matches. Apologies for the very jittery replay. As I did mention in the previous video, they still haven't fixed the replay bug. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I hope it happens soon, but knowing Wargaming, it'll probably be at least another 6 months before they get around to it. In the meantime, there's nothing I can really do about it. So I've ended up in the shittiest possible spawn for this tank, at the bottom of a very steep hill on Siegfried Line. Now, being somebody who almost solely drives mediums, I very rarely play tank destroyers. I have no idea where to take this thing. But first things first, let's get up to the top of the hill, get a really quick snapshot of that AMX. Surprised that even hit him, to be honest. And then start heading into the city. Now, I've already put myself pretty badly out of position. If the enemy team had any idea what they were doing, they'd probably be able to get at least 2 or 3 shots into my side as I moved into position. Thankfully, the enemy team did not know what they were doing, as evidenced by the fact there was nobody covering the gap I just crossed. Realizing that this bunch are plainly idiots, and that they didn't really have anything that could stop me, I decided to just roll into this street, which is a terrible idea and you should never do it, especially in this thing, but I figured I might get away with it. So I do know that there's a heavy T-34 over on the far east corner of that little triangular block there, but I'm not worried about him at the moment since he seems to be occupied doing something else. I decide to just go full retard and push into this street. Spot myself a Roomba. Unfortunately I miss, but he bounces, so all is forgiven. And then I'm able to roll around the corner, and before he can get back into cover I can pick him off quite comfortably through the corner of his gun shield. And now here comes the funny part. 2 T-54s. One at full health, one still has about 3/4 of his health. You would think I would surely be dead at this point. They're shooting heat. They have me at close range on a corner and, you know, turning around to try and check my flanks to make sure I'm not being flanked by the T-34. Surely 2 T-34s backed up by a T-25-2 would be able to do something about me. Well, no. The 25-2 is the first to go down. One of the 54s is almost dead already. So I decide to target him first, since he was giving me a better chance at hitting him. And straight through his cupola, almost kills him. 15 hit points, and he decides he's going to run away. He gets cleaned up by the FCM, and now I start working on the other T-54, who is shooting a side-scraped JT in places he will never ever hope to pen. I get him down to 62 hit points, and again the FCM finishes him off. Just how bad do you have to be to have 2 T-54s supporting each other, firing heat, fighting a JT with no real support on a corner, and lose? I mean, granted it wasn't me that actually killed them, it was technically the FCM, but the vast majority of their hit points went to me. And in all that time, they only put, what, 1 damaging shot into me? I honestly can't even say I was paying attention to how many hits I took from them, because it didn't even faze me. Once I realized they were so comically inept, I wasn't even bothered. And so that turned what probably would have been an otherwise painful / boring JT game into sheer comedy. I really don't know how those guys got to the T-54 without learning how to play medium tanks, but holy shit, that was just shocking. Granted, I had an E50 behind me, so if they had pushed in to try and flank me, probably at least one of them would have gone down to him. But all the same, they would have had a better chance of killing me and not losing both their tanks. You know, one of them might have died, but not both. But I suppose we'll never truly know what goes through the minds of bads. And so I was left alive to finish the game just under 4,500 damage. Most of it farmed off those two T-54s. So if you're going to take anything away from this video, I guess it's a pretty good lesson on what not to do when you're in a medium tank faced with a tank destroyer. Don't frontally engage it, especially don't let it side scrape against you. If it's got a corner like that, just go away, come back when it's distracted, or go around another direction, come in from behind, or just leave it alone for your bigger teammates to deal with. There's no reason at all to lose a pair of T-54s to a JT, which is one of the least mobile, easy targets for a T-54 in the entire game. Like, seriously, just don't do what those guys did. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be more to come. Hopefully not more in this tank, because honestly it's just not fun to play, but oh well. I wish you the best of luck in the field, and I'll see you on the next one.